Hello and welcome. I'm Shedrick Samuels with the Office of Professional Development here at NC State, and we have Cheryl McKenzie, who's also with the Office of Professional Development, and we have entered into a partnership with the Community College System Office to offer the CEU courses for your credentialing. Today we're going to talk about how to register for these CEU courses. First thing we want to do is refer you to the Creating Success website, the Basic Skills Training Calendar website we have here on the screen. Be sure to note the date, the session, the location, and the registration information there on the far right. For the registration, you will notice that we have enrollment closed. Further down the screen, you will see there will be a registration deadline. Be sure to pay close attention to that registration deadline. That registration deadline is about 2 weeks from the start of the course. After that deadline has passed, we cannot take any more registrations, okay? So let's go ahead and start and register for a course. For example, we're going to register for the evidence-based math course scheduled for March the 7th. And as you will see, it is the registration deadline of February 21st. So we'll click on that. Once you click on that, it will take you over to the NC State website. On that website, you'll see the course, the Evidence-Based Math Instruction. It's got the information, why you should attend, who should attend, and etc. Down below that are the actual offerings of the course. And of course, the one we want to register for is March the 7th. So pay particular attention to the date here for your session, March the 7th. And we want to click on the Add to Cart button to register for that course. But pay particular attention to where the Add to Cart button is. It's always above the offering that you'd like to take, okay? Not below, it's always above, okay? So we want to click on that. Once you click on that, it takes you to the enrollment information page. Be sure that the radio button is clicked for enrollment options. As we see, it is scheduled at 0, so there's no fee there. Continue checkout. After continue checkout, it will take you to your login information. Some of you are actually already in our database, but if you're not, you want to click on New User. And then you will put in your email address. For example, Cheryl is going to put in her email address. And this will get you registered into our system. Continue with checkout. Now, we will see that Cheryl is already in our system. Some of you will get this message as well. But some of you may have forgotten your password or your username. So what we want to do, if you're not a new user, is click on Forgot Username. Be sure to hit the radio button for current user, forgot username, and then put in your email address. And what we will do is email that information to you. Okay, so be sure to check your email immediately after you hit that. You should receive that shortly thereafter. Okay. The next thing you want to pay close attention to is once you get your username, you will need to then get your password. Then you would click on Forgot Password. And this is where you would enter in your username that you just received in your email. Okay. Now, being that Cheryl is already in our database and she knows her information, we'll go ahead and continue on with registering for the course. Okay?
And I'm Cheryl. I've talked to an awful lot of you folks already. And where we're having most of the problems signing up for the courses is right here with your username and your password. Now, Shedrick mentioned to you earlier about forgetting your password and your username. But once you get it, then you go ahead and you put in your username and your password. And then you're going to continue checkout. and it takes a minute. Okay, now, this is the most important part, I believe, of the whole system. It's right here. Please go in and change your username, because right now you probably have a number which is like it begins with an X. Put something in that you will be able to remember easily. And I put in C. McKenzie. Then go down here and put in that password that you received. Change it again to something you can remember and retype it there. It doesn't have to be anything real fancy, just something you can remember. Now, at this point, you will have to go down and you will have to finish and complete this sheet. And once you get to the bottom and you've completed it, then you will continue checkout. Now, if you get a validation error at this point, you have forgotten to enter something at this point. So, we're waiting for this to come up. And you can see it's taking time. It'll take a minute, and then it will come up. All right, I have a transaction receipt. It's got my name on it, all my information, and it's got the class that I've registered for. Now, if you registered for a class and you did not get a transaction receipt, you are not registered for that course. It did not go through. And then what you need to do is arrow back and find out what you missed. You didn't complete something on that previous page. I would advise you to print this page out, because this is your record that you did register for this course. Okay? Now, I would like you to go to your enrollment history. This is something most of you don't know that you can do. Once you go to your enrollment history, it tells you what course that you just registered for, and there it is. Well, for some reason, my director told me I can't go, I got sick, I have a family emergency. Go over here and request a drop. That is all you have to do, and you're out of the class. So click on that, give it a minute to go through. You have to select a reason, so we'll say family emergency, and submit it. And that is all you have to do. When you get time, you can go through all these, because this is going to tell you your enrollment history, your account history. Every class that you've ever taken from NC State will be on there. That is yours. Now, there again, a lot of people have asked about where do they get their silver certificate once they've completed all the courses. And that is handled through the Community College System Office. Once we have received all the finished paperwork from each class, we submit it to the System Office. And once they have your record complete, they will issue you the silver certificate. First of all, the registration deadline. Do not forget, once that deadline has passed, we are not able to register you for that course. There really is no reason to call us and ask us to get you into that course. We have a database system that automatically shuts that off the same day that we have it on the training calendar. So you will not be able to get into that course. We have to have you registered, and if you're not registered, do not show up for that class and hope to get in, because it's not going to happen. Secondly, when you add the course to your cart, please make sure that you add it to the line above the course, not below. When you've forgotten your username and password, please go into the system, ask them to send you, first of all, your username. Once you get your username, you can then go in and get your password. You cannot do it until you get your username. And keep in mind, this is going to be coming from our database, Destiny. It's not going to be coming from me or from Shedrick or from NC State. It's our database. If you haven't received anything, please look in your spam or trash account because it may be there. The next thing is your confirmation. That was that transaction receipt. You're going to get that. Please print that out and keep that for your records. In addition, you will be getting a confirmation letter. And there again, when you get it, it's best to print that out. Another thing that I would just like to mention to you is your enrollment history. When I talk to you about that under your profile, that will be forever. So you can go in there and check in case you go, I forget which courses I have taken, and I need to go in and take a look at that. Also, your profile here. If your name changes, if you get married, if your company changes, if you move from one community college to another community college, please go in and check that. We have to have your community college that you're associated with in order to get your credits. And I have emailed a lot of you asking you for that information. You have not been putting that in. Give us as much information on your profile as you can, your date of birth, your company, your address. And if any of that changes, you need to go into the system and you need to change that because that is your account. That is your student profile. This is where all your information is stored. Your name, your address. If your name changes, if you get married, please go back into that and change your name. If your employer changes, please go in and make that change. And we have to have your employer, and that could be your community college, that's your agency, whoever you work for. We cannot give you credits if we don't have that information. In addition, your enrollment history, your account history, that is going to go on till the end of time. And one other thing that I would like to mention to you that we have not talked about yet is that please do not go in and make duplicate profiles. Some people are having trouble, and what they do is I'm just going to start all over again. Well, then you end up with 2, 3, 4 profiles, and we have to go back in and we have to consolidate them. What is going to happen there is that you may end up not knowing your username and your password again because we have consolidated it to the main one. So please, if you have trouble, give us a call. We'd be glad to help you. And we appreciate your time today.